And an ultra-millionaire tax. Let's bring in Danielle Moody-Mills, host of Woke AF on SiriusXM. Republican strategist Lauren Zelt and Republican consultant Michael Singleton, contributing host for Vox Media's Consider It. Hey guys, I'm glad to see all three of you. Let's go around the horn and see what the official reaction was to Warren's campaign kickoff. Danielle, you first.
You know, I was really excited by her speech, actually. I thought that it hit a lot of really good notes. It's very different than what we saw from Kamala. I think that Kamala is an inspiring figure, that she really captivated people a few weeks ago when she announced. And Elizabeth Warren, I felt like she gave really strong, pragmatic points about how we need to fix our broken systems and how we need to right our economy so that it actually works for all people. And I think that those notes will resonate with people. And I also think that talking about voter suppression and the need to fight back against racist politicians and their desire to gerrymander our system was also very important, and also a nod to Black American voters that she's trying to reach.
Lauren, your turn.
Well, I think the biggest problem that Elizabeth Warren faces right now, in terms of if you look ahead to perhaps if she was the nominee, is that President Trump has spent so much time defining her. You know, when you work in a political race, what you want to do is to define your opponent. And for a Democrat to win the general election in 2020, they're going to have to get back some of the Trump voters. And he has spent so much time talking about her and her policies. And then, you know, as we all know, she hasn't had a great couple of weeks regarding her declaration of Native American status. So, you know, while I think the event today, the optics I thought were good, you know, I think she's had a really difficult couple of weeks, and I think she's very much too far to the left to be competitive in the general election.
But the fact that the president puts out statements casting her as running a dishonest campaign, talking about her socialist ideas, Lauren, does it signal to you that the Trump campaign potentially sees her as a threat?
Well, I think that it's more of that sometimes, you know, this president has a tendency to be a little bit of a bully, especially on Twitter. And I think that she's just one of his favorite targets. And I think when he does that, it fires up his base. I don't read it as him being intimidated by her. I think if anything, if a candidate were to get in that he might be intimidated by, would be former Vice President Joe Biden.
Okay. Michael, your take on her rollout?
Well, Alex, I mean, I think she raised a lot of good ideas that will have sustenance and will resonate with people on the East Coast, likely with folks on the West Coast. But I think the ultimate question for Warren, as will be the question for many of the other candidates who are running, can they win back states that were considered Democrat strongholds, places like Michigan, places like Pennsylvania? Can they win back some of those voters who voted for President Obama in 2012, who opted to vote for Trump over Hillary Clinton in 2016, or just opted to stay home altogether? I think that's a question that is an outlier that has to be answered by her and many other candidates. And I'm not certain that some of her more progressive-leaning ideas will resonate with some of those individuals. And so she has to be careful not to move too far left, because let's say she does ultimately become the nominee for that particular party, she will have to sort of move back to the center, and that's something that could create problems for her in the long run.
But look, she did take a few swipes at Trump, Michael, but like other 2020 contenders so far, she pretty much stayed away from the Mueller investigation. Do you see any risk in that going down the road? Do you think presidential hopefuls are right to set that topic aside for now?
No, I absolutely think so. I think they need to wait until the report is actually out. You don't want to start commenting on something and we have no idea what way it's going to go. It could go in a way where it doesn't directly implicate Trump at all, and it could go in a way where it implicates Trump, and then Congress has to actually step in to figure out what should be his future. So I think the candidates are making the right choice, at least as of now, to sort of avoid that and allow the investigation to continue without them making public statements that will get headlines. I don't think Mueller needs that right now.
Yeah, speaking of headlines, Danielle, Warren has certainly come under fire for past claims of Native American heritage, something she did not address as she rolled out her official announcement here. How serious of an issue do you think this can be for her campaign? Does she have any hope of putting this controversy to rest?
I do think that it's still serious, and I think that it's still top of mind for many people, and it also doesn't help that the president consistently brings it up on a regular basis. I think it's something that she's going to need to address head on. Obviously, she wasn't going to use today as an opportunity to do so. Today was about laying out her agenda for the American people. And I also think that, you know, Elizabeth Warren actually speaks to a lot of people who say that they voted for President Trump because of the fact that they were dealing with economic insecurity as opposed to racism, which I tend to believe the latter. But the idea here is that she's laying out a plan that is about equalizing the playing field and fixing rigged systems, and fixing systems that Trump and his cronies have benefited on for decades. And so I think that she needs to face that controversy head on, and put it behind her once and for all, and then continue to talk about her plans for the American people, because I think that it will absolutely resonate with the people in the middle who Trump's new tax plan is going to hurt and continue to squeeze the middle class and the working class, and that's something that she can talk to and has immediate plans to fix.
All right, guys, we're going to be talking about Elizabeth Warren and any number of other candidates a lot together over the next number of months. Thank you so much. Good to see all three of you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Alex.
So it turned out to be must-see testimony, but for the wrong reason. But what did the Matthew Whitaker hearing accomplish anyway?